All right, well, I'm back with the XJ, and we'll be talking about my air compressor, my AC compressor converted into an air compressor for airing up my tires out on the trail or out in the sand dunes. I made a video a while back. I'm going to try and make this video a lot shorter of me tearing this. I've never done it before, but me tearing this thing apart, putting it back together, and converting it into a system that I could air up my tires. But towards the end of that, I ended up thinking that this was pushed all the way into my quick disconnect, and I went to go make a short video, and air wasn't coming out over here. I had an air chuck on there, no air was coming out. I don't know how long I ran it for, but I ended up disconnecting it. Come to find out, this wasn't pushed all the way in, and who knows, it built up some pressure because I had a hard time relieving it, and who knows what would happen if you over pressured this system. So this is a closed system. If you do this and you don't get any of the extra parts, you should actually make it an open system. So they have special chucks that when you hook it up and turn the compressor on, it will allow air out of it all the time, which is, this is not. This is a closed chuck. So I decided, the safety of me and my kids and anybody else that might be around this while I'm using it, I think I spent 30 bucks on Amazon and went ahead and bought some bought a few mods and a few upgrades to hopefully make this thing a little bit safer. So we'll go to the table and I'll talk about that stuff. I'll figure out how I'm going to put it together, and then hopefully at the end we could test it and make sure at least two of the things are working the way they should be. So we'll get over there and get on that. Okay. All right. So to make this system, closed system, safe, probably the most important thing is this blow-off valve. This thing's set to 125 psi, and all it is just spring-loaded. This thing will pop up when it hits pressure, and it'll just pull this up. The only thing I see about this, using it in your rig off-roading, is if mud, dirt, sand, rocks or something gets in here and it holds it from opening, it may not open when it's supposed to. So so you might want to make sure it's clean and maybe blow this out. It's hard to, I'm not gonna be able to show it on camera, but you can actually see kind of through there. But make sure it's all open and cleaned out, and it's going to work the way it's supposed to. And then I bought this little aluminum manifold so I could connect all this stuff to it. So I plan on taking and putting this blow off in that. And then the next thing I bought was this pressure switch, which is, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's on anything below 70 psi, and it shuts off at 100. So I'll hook my hot wire up here, and then hook my compressor to it here, and that should kick it on and off at these pressures. And then this probably wasn't needed, but it didn't cost much. It's just a pressure gauge, 0 to 200 psi. I could kind of know what's in the system, and we'll test this stuff at the end, and we'll be able to watch this and see if it's coming on and off when it's supposed to. So that's pretty, I think this stuff here was the only stuff I got off Amazon. It actually came with 2 of these. I think it was like 30 bucks or something to upgrade this to make it a little bit safer. So I'm gonna have to, the way I want this to work in there, I'm gonna have to modify this. Fortunately, I welded it here, so I think I'm gonna take and cut it here, and then I'll probably shorten it, and then I'll put a 90 on there, and then I'll probably add this to it, and then put my hose back on the end here. So I'll probably go ahead and modify this real quick. I'll cut it. I'll probably end up welding it back together, and then I'll come back, tighten all this stuff up real quick, and we'll get it on there and hopefully test it out and make sure everything's going to work right. So I'll be back. Alrighty, well, my other camera is not cooperating anymore. Might need new batteries for it. But here is the fitting that I'd made previously to connect all this stuff to my compressor. And this is what I ended up having to cut out at the end of it to shorten it up, to hopefully 90 this along the, I think it's the coolant bottle, and kind of get it out of the way going that way. So I'm going to take some cardboard here and start off, we'll start putting some fittings in these. Pretty close on that with the welds. I should have did this, made this short piece here. I welded a little bit longer, but should seal up. I guess if it don't seal up, I'll just weld it on there. Okay. And the last thing is this. I said originally I didn't know if I wanted to keep this swivel in there, but I actually think I kind of like it. Oh. Other than it's kind of going the wrong direction now, but it'll still work. Okay, well I think hopefully that's all tight enough. Here's what I come up with. We'll get it hooked back into the compressor. Probably have to make some adjustments on how all this sits, and then we'll test it. We'll test these individually and make sure this pops off when it's supposed to, and make sure this shuts off and comes on when it's supposed to, and hopefully I have a better, safer working system here. So I get moved over there and we get going on that. Alrighty, so here it is. See how this goes. I actually did already turn this because I had it on the other side and it was hitting this tank, but stick it up here. See if we get and then turn again. There we go. Now, I have to figure out the wiring. to get this down to here, and then go wire from down there back up to here. And then for now, I'll probably end up putting a clip. I'll actually probably put a clip on this side until I get a switch and get a switch and wire a switch into it. So I'll come back with all that. All right, so I got the wiring hooked up. All the connections are hooked up. All the fittings are going. So we got our compressor, and then our compressor goes to our outlet here. Comes into this manifold. We got pressure gauge, pressure switch, pressure relief, and then we come out to our hose. We're at 0 psi now, so and then my main wire goes from my compressor into one side of the pressure switch, and then it comes out of the pressure switch to this wire, which will hook to the battery, which activates the clutch. Since we're still at 0 psi, it's going to activate that clutch until we get to 100 psi. So we'll test that out here in a minute and see how it all works out. Okay, test one. If you can hear me, I got a blow nozzle hooked up. We'll see when that switch kicks off, and then we'll use a blow nozzle and see if it comes back on and kicks back off. So here we go. We're going to hook it up to the battery. Looks like right around 100 psi. We'll use a blow nozzle. So now I'm going to bypass that switch and see if that pop-off works. Okay, here goes. Try that again. Alrighty, so it's time to finish off this video. Everything seemed to work great. We have our AC compressor and an air compressor down there in that hole. You might be able to see the air filter for the inlet. Our outlet comes around and goes into this manifold. We have our pressure gauge, our pressure switch, and our pressure relief. And then we have our swivel here where we hook up the hose. I made this little fitting here to cap it off, keep junk from going into it when it's not hooked up to the hose. We have our hose coiled up over here in our air chuck. As is, the system works great. The pressure switch and the pressure relief, they go really quick because there's no air in the system, so there's not a whole lot that has to build up pressure before it shuts off. I do just have this here for my on-off for the clutch. Eventually, I might hook up a switch and put a switch somewhere so I don't have to use this. As is, it works great. It blows up as I showed the last time. It blows the tires up. Blows the tires up really quick, so that's nice. Possibly in the future, if I ever get to finish the cage, I may try to integrate the cage and the sliders into this as air tanks. I don't know that it's really needed unless I plan on running some kind of air guns or something out on the trail, which right now I don't, and it airs up the tires just fine. So it might be something I might just try for the hell with it, and then if it works, it works. If it don't, then I could pull it back apart and just use it the way it is. So anyways, that's it for now. All right, well, that's it for now. If you have any comments, throw them down below. like and subscribe, and let me know what I need to do to make some more videos if you have any questions, and I can try to make a video on it and trying to get better at this, and hopefully the new coming year I'll be able to actually get this thing out on the trail and out in the sand dunes, so run it a little bit. I'm just waiting on them damn sliders, so get to building them hopefully here pretty quick. So thanks for watching. Till next time.